So today's project, are you ready to see today's project? It is, as I said, a great card for dads, for grads. It is the Diagonal Easel Fun Fold card, which is why I'm showing it to you at this angle. And you can see there's some little rocks that help hold that card front up. When it's closed flat, it's easy to mail. And this little card will suit both graduation. So we have the congratulations, adventure awaits. I also have some sentiments to share for Father's Day and happy birthday for the manly card. Oh, thank you. I love seeing those hearts. The card itself is fairly simple. The diagonal easel fold, I guess it can be a little bit confusing if you're not familiar with it. Once you see it in action, it's actually very simple to create. And I love how it will rest on the desktop and the recipient can admire it for a while. It also sits nicely on a mantel. And yeah, I love that about it. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through the card. For the card recipe, I will link it above the video just after we're done. And if you want the tutorial, just place an order. Otherwise, you can scramble and write down the dimensions as we're walking through it. So, let's see. I'm just looking to make sure everything is within reach. So I'm going to start off with a piece of cardstock. It measures 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to do a little bit of scoring. And we're going to score it at the halfway mark, which is 5 1/2. And so I've got my trimmer in place and I'm going to use the scoring blade, 5 1/2. And then I need to do one more score. And I'm going to make a diagonal score line from the lower left to the upper right. And I'm going to do that just by placing it on my track, on my trimmer. And I am going to I'm going to go from the corner up at the top to the score line that's right in the center, that 5 1/2 inch score line. And I'm going to go ahead and score down, not cut, but I'm going to score. So that's critical. You don't want to cut it off. You just want to score it. And so now that is actually the foundation of the card. We have the score line going down the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and get my bone folder, fold that, and burnish. And then I am going to do the diagonal fold. I'm going to come down from the lower left to the upper right, and I'm just going to peek it and then burnish that down. And so you can see I've already got that easel back in formation. So again, that's our card base, and that's pretty much what the diagonal easel card starts as. I'm going to put that aside and bring in some of the other elements. I'm going to need 2 stitched rectangles in basic white, and these are the largest rectangle in the die set. Basic white, one is for the card front, one is for the inside. I am going to need a small piece of the New Horizon DSP. This measures 5 inches across by 3 inches. And if you're not familiar with the New Horizons Designer Series paper, it is an awesome stack of papers with beautiful backgrounds. And the cool thing about this paper is it coordinates with so many stamp sets, so many images. One side we've got basic like watercoloring effect. The flip sides have some landscape designs, beautiful colors. And again, it's the perfect backdrop for so many stamp sets. I've used quite a bit of it, and it was on unorderable status for quite some time, but it is in stock. New Horizons. It's the 6x6, so you're not going to be afraid to cut it. It's not like the 12x12 that you don't want to make a cut in. All right, so we need, again, 5 inches by 3, and we're going to use one other piece of Night of Navy. I started off with 5 inches by about 2 inches, and I used that basic borders stitch die to cut the little clouds, but in this case it's going to be the raging sea. And I have even embossed it with the, let's see, the splatter and stripes, or stripes and splatters embossing folder. That's going to go on the card front as well. And I have a couple of clouds from the Give It a Whirl die set. And I already see I'm losing things, falling all over the floor. And we are going to need some labels. We're going to be stamping greetings or sentiments on some of the labels. These smaller labels came from the Stylish Shapes dies. They are in this new catalog. What I love about them is that they have this beautiful stitching on both the inside of the label and the outside. So whether you're using the positive or the negative of the label, you're going to get that pretty stitching. I also have one more stitched label that comes from the Waves dies, and this is the perfect die for the happy birthday sentiment from that stamp set. So overall, we're using the Let's Set Sail. I'm going to have a couple of tips for you, and I'm going to be using the punch on that. That's our basic stamp set. Some of the sentiments, or one of the sentiments, comes from the Peaceful Moments. That congratulations is perfect for graduation. From the Waves of Inspiration, I'm using the happy birthday. So you could have a choice. Is this going to be a congratulations card? Is it going to be a happy birthday card? Or even further, if you wanted to use it as a happy Father's Day card, Your Biggest Fan has a great stamp for that. So lots of options that will make a perfect card for grads and dads. So we're going to start off with one of these stitched rectangles, and we're going to build up before we start stamping and adhering. So I'm going to take my designer series paper. This one has a very cloudy day. I love the blues and that Blackberry Bliss background. It obviously is a stormy day. This is going to be flat adhered to the stitched rectangle on top. And I'm just going to go right inside the stitching. So right in there. I'm just creating the backdrop for my sailing scene. And then next I'm going to add my bordered Night and Navy piece, and I'm going to add that with just some of my favorite multi-purpose liquid glue. And oh, I did want to mention, on these particular dies, I did crack open, oops, I've already got a little clogged bottle, there we go. I did crack open my new magnetic platform, which is, I think, going to be amazing. I noticed one small little detail, which is going to be critical. So let me seal this down, and then I will share with you what I've discovered. So the new magnetic plate, it is one of those self-healing plates, and you can kind of see where my dies are. I've already got ink on it. It is a heavy plate. It should be quite durable. When you build your sandwich, and this is the instruction sheet that comes in, and I love the numbering system. This is plate number 5. There is an instruction diagram down at the bottom. And what I've already discovered, and I'm sure if you've been using this, you might have discovered it as well, there is a number 2 included in this sandwich, which is that thin, like a shim that we use for die cutting. However, it is not necessary when you use the magnetic platform. So you are going to go from your base platform, number 1, all the way up to platform layer number 5. So skip that 2, then you're going to add your paper and your die facing down, and then you're going to put a cutting plate or plate number 3 atop. So you're just going to eliminate that number 2. It is not necessary, and it's kind of confusing. You would notice if you tried following the directions that you could not muscle it through to get through the machine. It is not needed. So that's how I created my my waves. I use that basic Borders die. I also have, let's see, I also cut my labels, so the choice is here. And then I've got a couple of clouds which were cut from the Give It a Whirl dies. So lots of die sets on this particular card, and then also stamp sets. So typically I like to go with one bundle and stick with it, but I have so many elements that I wanted to use on this card. I just had to give vary or stray from that one bundle rule. All right, so next, let's talk about that sailboat. It is just precious. It has a punch that coordinates with it. And what I have discovered, there's a couple of different ways you can attack the stamping and punching. Normally, I would say stamp first and then punch. In this particular case, one of the options is to go ahead and punch. And I'm going to punch there, and I'm going to get the pieces to build my sailboat. So if with the builder punches, if you stamp on individual pieces, you're going to have all these extra bits of rubbish flying off of your punch. This is one way to avoid that, and I have been successful with it. It's not too difficult to stamp onto these pieces once they have been punched. What I like to do is actually put them on a darker background, like my, let's see, my Stamparatus mat here. And then I'm going to put them in position. So that is the sailboat right there. Then I'm going to bring in my stamps. So the stamps I'm going to use are the, let's see, the foundation of the sailboat, and for that I'm using Crumb Cake, and this is actually the easiest one to stamp this way because you can see, you can align and see right through. And that's the beauty of the photopolymers, you can see right through. So I'm going to do a full inking with Crumb Cake on the, this has the pole and the boat, and I can see right through and align. And press down. And you get a pretty good inking on that little boat there without having all the bits of rubbish flying about. So I like that. I know some people are a little squeamish about, about stamping after it's already been punched, but it's all good. It's going to work out. And if you choose to do the individual pieces, you'll just have a few extra bits of rubbish that you'll have to deal with. Not a big deal. So for the sails, I am using Night of Navy ink, and I'm actually trying to give the effect of 2 different colors. So first, I'm going to do a full force inking with the larger sail. And I'm going to go through and try and align that perfectly. And again, if you're squeamish about not being able to get that right on there, you could try the traditional way. So look how, I mean, to me, that's pretty easy. The alternative is to stamp on a thinner or a less wide piece of cardstock and stamp down, and what you would want to notice is the direction of that particular piece of the boat. And so let's see if I do this. I just want to make sure that the stamp is going in the right direction. So you can stamp down and then punch. It's just going to be a little bit messier, and actually I found it more difficult to get a precise alignment on here. But so we just have those extra bits that are flying about, and it's, again, it's not a big deal. So next I'm going to do the right sail, and hopefully I haven't lost it already. Of course I have. There it is. Okay, so this one, I am going to do second generation stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up in Night and Navy. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on the sail. Oops. If I flip it over right direction, there we go. And again, you can pretty much see through. And I do like that darker matte on the bottom. That way I can see the white. And there you go. There's my second piece of my sail. So let's help Anna Marie out and get rid of these pieces before they're lost. So there's my base. And then I've got two sails. And for this card, I did pop these up on dimensionals. That sailboat is very thin, so we've got the thin pole and the thin boat. And so what I've done is just brought in my mini dimensionals, and then I'm going to cut some thin strips that will fit nicely on the narrow boat, the pole. There we go. And a little bit. And I do like to support the thin parts of the image, otherwise they will be really delicate on the card front and they have a tendency to kind of pull away without the support. So I'm going to go ahead and add that down onto my choppy water. And I'm just going to go mostly to the left, and it's down in the middle of the ocean. All right, and then the sails also were popped up with mini dimensionals, and you can be generous. I love the minis. You get so many, and the pack is like just over $4, so you can be quite supportive without breaking the bank, and it's going to make a difference in your finished card. So, not sure. I know grad season is already upon us, and this is actually why I had a card club the other night, and someone asked about any graduation cards. Our club offering did include a version of this Let's Set Sail card. I'll show it to you afterwards. So I have another example to show you. And the club card was not a graduation card. It's a birthday card, but this easily crosses over, I think. There we go. So there's my boat. I'm going to take one of the clouds. I'm going to take the larger cloud, and I'm not sure if you noticed as I was adhering the Night and Navy paper, I didn't put any adhesive up here at the border die area because I want to slip the cloud in, and it's easier, or it is able to be slipped in. If I had sealed it with adhesive, we wouldn't be able to do this. So, and this just helps to build wherever I want. There we go. So back cloud is flat adhered. Then I'm going to add one of the smaller clouds from the Give It a Whirl dies. This one's going to go on with dimensionals. So, and again, just supporting that cloud. And the New Horizon paper, if you wanted to make it a sunnier day, you would have that option as well. I think when you have cloudy days and rocky waves, it just makes for a bigger adventure. So there's mostly the card front there. We're going to go ahead and add that. And here, this part's critical. When we adhere it to the card front, we are only going to apply adhesive on the lower triangle. So the upper portion is not going to be attached. That way it will fold up and stay in place. And so what I like to do is just use my Tombow, and I come in along the diagonal score line and add my adhesive. And then I can go ahead and in the closed position, I can frame out my die cut, and fold that down, burnish it down. And I can flip it over, make sure there's nothing adhered here. And this is what I mean, you don't want any adhesive on this part of the card front. We can go ahead and burnish that down so it is in position. We can even take our bone folder and burnish and get a nice tight seal on that. So there we've got that portion of the card front done. Now let's talk about the inside. We have a second stitched rectangle where we're going to stamp the greeting, and I have created a little bit of watery effect, some waves, by taking the larger stamp, the whitest stamp from the stamp set. And this could be either sky or it could be the water. In this particular case, it's the water, and I'm going to ink up. I'm looking around to protect my mat. I thought I had a piece of scrap paper which has disappeared. Here's a piece here. And I just want to protect. I don't want to get ink on that mat because that will make a mess. We're going to ink up, and it's going to be at the lower portion of the card, and I'm going to stamp once, stamp twice, and you can see how I'm getting that varied inking, but I'm going to do it a second time. And go ahead and stamp down, and again. So now we've got that little splotch of water, and I'm going to add my greeting. So choice, let's see, I could do this one. I think I'm going to make it a happy birthday card. In this particular one, I have congratulations, and then the inside sentiment says adventure awaits, which is perfect, I think, for graduation. For this card today, I know I always need birthday cards, manly birthday cards. And so to me, the best die for the birthday, and this comes from the Waves dies, and the, let's see, the Waves of Inspiration stamp set, there's a very narrow happy birthday. And I'm going to ink up also in Night of Navy. And this is fairly easy to align right in there. There's my happy birthday, and I think perfect for this inside greeting comes from the stamp set that says, hope it's your best day ever. Those, I think, are perfect pairs, as would be a happy Father's Day, hope it's your best day ever as well. Now this one, I do want it low on the inside because I want it to show through when the card is propped up. So I'm just going to stamp that low, get a nice inking on there, and then I'm going to add a few of the flying birds, and this one is from the Let's Set Sail stamp set. We just want to make sure that our birds are not upside down, and we're going to just fly them in at the right, and look at that. I can tell. Inky fingers. Be careful when you're working with Night of Navy. It's a dark color. And it's easily, you can easily ink up what you don't want to ink up. All right, so next, this is just going to be flat adhered right inside. And I'm using my Tombow right through here. I don't know, do any of you struggle with the manly cards? I think just staying away from some color schemes might be helpful. If it's a manly card, I usually try and stay away from ribbons and too much sparkle. But I think that this Let's Set Sail lends itself nicely to manly cards. And I'm just going to use, I'm trying not to get my inky fingers in there. There we go. So that is the inside of the card. Let's go ahead and add our outside sentiment, the happy birthday, and my embellishment. Now I said I avoid using ribbon. However, what's really cool is the Baker's Twine, the Essential Pack, and you've got all those great colors. I'm going to use that crumb cake or the craft color, and add a little bit of rope, just like you would find out at sea or on a boat. And I'm just going to do, I don't know, I'm not measuring, just do about 3 or 4 lengths, finger lengths of ribbon or twine. Hi, Pauline. Where are you from, Pauline? I love to know where people are popping in from. Okay, so next I am going to, let's see, I'm going to add some glue dots to help myself out here. That helps calm the twine down. And I'm looking around for my glue dots, which are not on my desktop. Well, phooey, I thought I had them down here. Okay, so let's go second best. I'm going to put a little bit of, oh, northern Minnesota. Well, welcome in from northern Minnesota, where I'm sure it's a little bit chillier than it is here in California. However, today is a beautiful day. I actually woke up to rain. I loved looking out my window this morning and see everything wet. Okay, so all I did was wrap. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down, and hopefully it will fall into place. And I'm also going to elevate this with dimensionals. Maria, hello from Maine. That is awesome. So West Coast stampers, or sorry, East Coast stampers, and I'm a West Coast stamper. So we have got get frost tonight, Pauline. Oh my goodness. I know I have a dear friend in Michigan who just loves the cold weather. As long as you're inside, it's kind of awesome because all that rain and snow makes everything so green and lush. All right, so I'm just adding some dimensionals, and again, I'm giving lots of support behind the label. Flip that over, and I'm going to abut it fairly close to that sailboat. Just like that, and you can see this one's elevated. Hello, Tracy. Yes, I'm glad you're catching live. We are making a card that's very appropriate for grads and dads, or manly cards, birthday cards. And so we're almost near the end. Now we need almost like a little stop to keep this in position. And Margaret, Charlotte, North Carolina, awesome. North Carolina is on my list, as is Maine. So many places I'm eager to travel to now that things are opening up. And I know that there are better times to visit all these places, when you can kind of take advantage of the best that each state has to offer. So eager to get started with that. So what I'm using are these Foss sea glass shapes. These are just so sweet. We've got river rock color, the sea glass color, and then we also had white. But I am such a fan of these shapes. I've already used all the white, which means I'm going to have to grab myself a new pack. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take your pick, and I'm going to go for the slightly larger rocks. And these are the stops that are going to keep your card front up. So I'm going to put some over here in the water. I'm sort of pushing this into the position I want it to be standing. And we're going to offer a little bit of support here with a couple of rocks. And you know me and my embellishments, I like to do it in odd numbers. So there's 3, 4, and 5. And that is how you keep your card front propped up. Now, sometimes you can have a small image that comes with the stamp set, and I'll show you another example of that. So there it stays propped up. You could also pop it up at that angle, or when you're ready to put it in the envelope and mail it, you can also just lay it flat. It fits in the standard size envelope. And it says, happy birthday. Hope it's your best day ever. And there you go. There is our card for dads and grads. using the beautiful New Horizon paper and that nice little punch bundle called Let's Set Sail. I love all the little die cuts I was able to add to the card, the stitch rectangles, the clouds, the labels, and of course the borders to create the waves and make it feel like a very choppy day at sea, because adventure awaits and that could be your best day ever. So I mentioned that this card for graduation came about from a club card that we created this week. Here's another version of the Let's Set Sail card. And I'm still going in the blues, but I've got Balmy Blue here and Pacific Point, and I've stamped onto a stylish shape with the pretty stitching in it. Still that label and the clouds, and I've still used the same embossing folders. I've got the splatter up on top in the sky, and then the lines down below. And happy birthday, hope it's your best day ever. So there are two versions of the Let's Set Sail card. I like them both. What do you think? Which one's your favorite or your preference? I like the bright, but I also like the stormy. What do you think? Do you have a favorite? Yeah. The stormy, I think I agree. The dark one, yeah, Pauline also agrees with the darker. You like, oh Betty, you're so sweet. You like them both. I do like both the bright and I do like the stormy. This does seem very adventurous, and this could be a beautiful day out at sea. So either one would go, and I think, as I said, perfect for grads and dads. So if you want to recreate that, I will have the card recipe link right above this video. Oh, thank you, Pam. Oh, yes, I think I'm in agreement. Most of us are thinking the stormy colors are kind of cool. The recipe will be linked right above, and if you want to get your hands on the tutorial with 12 more examples of the Diagonal Easel Card Fun Fold, just place a $50 order and you'll get the tutorial at no extra charge. You don't even need to use a host code. And yeah, there you go. If you have any questions, make sure you comment down below. And I agree, Margaret, it is hard to make the cards for men. I have a tendency to lean toward cutesy or towards flowery. Is it Zana or Zana? Says she finds that men's cards are easy. Probably because they're not too complicated, right? If we just pare it down and keep it simple, keep the colors simple, and we can eliminate all the extra embellishments, then we can. But you know, some of us crafters like to keep adding and keep adding. And oh, Anna with a Z, Zana. I like that. Thank you. That's an easy way to remember. Yeah, I think a crafter, lots of us like to step it up and add, and that's what makes them more difficult. Oh, and Zana says she's got 4 brothers. Well, then you must be the master of the manly cards, or you need to be the master of the manly cards, so you are set. All right, my friends, if you have any comments, any questions, make sure you post them down below. I do check for the comments after I've completed the video. I will post it to YouTube as well, so you can zip through the chatter and get straight to the dimensions and the how-to to get crafting. I hope you have a crafty weekend. If you need any help, please reach out. I would love to help you. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful weekend.